Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky Crit. We've got some amazing stuff here today. We finally have the English website for Fire Emblem Three Houses, which reveals pretty much more information that we kind of already knew, but it's nice to finally see it officially on the English website. And we've also got some brand new character voices and stuff here, so I cannot wait to dive into this with you guys. Let's take a look. Right off the bat here, you can see they have these beautiful flags, and if you actually hover your mouse over them, you can make them move as if the wind is hitting them. That is so cool. I love that. Anyway, if we keep going here, we have Meet the Characters. We can check out some of the characters here. I love how they even have some of these little bits of footage here in the background that's kind of looping. That's cool too. So we can pick the different houses here. We do, however, have the Blue Lions video, but it's not here on the website yet, so they probably finished this a couple days ago and just put it out now at this point. We're still waiting for the Golden Deer video, but that's probably going to come next week or the week after that in preparation for the game's launch after that. They're probably just, you know, waiting to roll it out. But anyway, we can watch those videos here. They've got all these cool little screenshots here interlaid together. This is like the Japanese website. We've seen this kind of before and a lot of the same shots and stuff as well. But now we finally have the characters. Some interesting things to point out here is that for Byleth, for both male and female, there's no voice clips here. And we do, however, know that Byleth will have a voice. We've heard it in some of the footage so far.
It's another Gambit.
Nice. Wow.
We might just save these merchants after all. And I leveled up.
Such power.
And we also saw in the Japanese footage there will be battle grunts and stuff like that you can hear them saying during battle. So I do find it kind of interesting that they decided to opt out of putting in voice clips here for Byleth. Maybe to kind of keep that immersion for the player because they're going to be playing as Byleth. They don't want them to hear someone else's voice for them. I don't know, I find that kind of an interesting choice. And it does seem a little weird because they have been kind of going out of their way to hide Byleth's voice this entire time. Usually Byleth is not speaking, but we do know that Byleth will speak at least, you know, like level up quotes at the end of battles and stuff like that. So I don't know, I just kind of find that intriguing that they decided to opt out of having it here. But we can kind of go through all the characters here. I'm not going to play through all of this. If you do want to check this out, the link will of course be in the description down below. I'm not going to play every single voice here, but I think the standouts for me are definitely Claude and probably like Geralt. I really like his voice. I think Ria's got a great voice, but we did already know that because we've heard that before. Some of the ones I'm not too thrilled about yet at this point, unfortunately. I think they're going to take a little bit more time to grow on me. Dmitri is definitely one that I kind of wasn't really expecting to come out of him. If we play that sound now.
Our opponents are mighty, that much is certain. But I'm positive we can win.
You know, I'm not sure if that's Yuri Lowenthal or another actor, but it just doesn't, the voice isn't quite matching up for me just yet at this moment. I'm not like losing all hope or anything. I'm still picking Dmitri. I think it's definitely just going to take a little bit more time to grow on me. It just wasn't really the voice that I was kind of expecting from him. It sounds like a little too Marth-like, I would say. And I kind of expected something at least a little bit darker from him. Although it does sound, from the other trailer where we see the time skip and him, you know, saying kill them all.
Kill every last one of them!
It does sound kind of darker and more evil there, so maybe there's just a bigger change in the voice acting later on. And that can honestly make it even better if he kind of starts off a little too goody two-shoes sounding. That's how I would describe it right now. So maybe he starts off like that and then the change is just going to be super drastic, and that's kind of why they went in this direction. But overall, it is kind of weird to think about because we've been talking about these characters for months now at this point, and it's kind of like we've built up our own mental images and concepts of who these people are without knowing all of the full details about them anyway. So it's a little bit clashy and contrasty when we actually finally get the remainder of these details, like their voice and stuff. It might not always match up to what we kind of have expected and built up in our minds up to this point. So it will take a little bit of getting used to for me. I also think Raphael definitely needed a little bit more of an Arden voice, in my opinion. And he's kind of, I don't know, it's not quite what I was expecting for him. Let's take a listen.
Are you really as strong as they say? Let's see your biceps. I bet I packed on more muscle than you.
I mean, it's definitely not bad. I'll get used to it. I'll get over it pretty quick, I think. But I just kind of wanted something a little deeper. I mean, look at the thickness of this guy's neck, right? And I think that the voice actor just doesn't sound like he's got that deep of a voice. It doesn't fit that much for me so far. Mercedes is a little quieter than I was kind of hoping, I think. I guess I kind of more wanted her to have sort of the anime mom voice actress type of deal, you know what I mean? Because she's got the anime mom haircut going on. But yeah, let's take a listen to Mercedes too.
If you get injured, simply say the word and I'll patch you up straight away. Oh, Professor, did you come to pray to the goddess?
It's definitely a cute voice. I really can't complain about that, but she just sounds a little bit younger, I guess, than I kind of expected, because she is supposed to be older than some of the other students, so I don't know. I'll get over it. I'll get used to it, I'm sure. Geralt sounds like David Lodge from everything that we've heard so far, and he sounds great. I mean, just listen to this, like, rough voice.
It'll be tougher to sleep at night if you let one of your little pupils die. So stay vigilant and lead them well.
Oh, he sounds great. That's one of my favorites right there. And Claude, I think, is just like 10 out of 10, perfect casting.
No use trying to hide how you really feel, Teach. I can see it in your eyes. You don't intend to lose. I'm from the ruling house of the Leicester Alliance, but don't worry too much about all that madness.
They definitely do seem to be playing into his like craftiness and sneakiness. He doesn't even want to talk about the Leicester Alliance. Oh, I love that. I really hope they do something cool with that as an actual story twist or something. Oh, it's going to be so great. I'm still kind of getting used to what sounds to be Tara Platt as Edelgard instead of Christina V. I'll be honest, I really did like Christina V's voice as Edelgard in that first Three Houses trailer, and it's going to take some getting used to because this is definitely different. I'm honestly wondering, too, if they're going to be changing the song, because I think that it was Edelgard's voice actress, if I'm not mistaken, that was singing the main theme. Now, I could be wrong, but that's kind of what it sounded like from that first trailer, so I don't know. Would they update the song? That's so weird. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all of those. I want you guys to have some fun and explore that yourself. Some of them, people have been calling out Annette because she actually sings in one of her things, so a lot of people have been falling in love with Annette, and a bunch of really cool stuff happening with this, so make sure that you check it out. There's also the Officers Academy here, so we can take a look at some of the things that are going to be happening, some information here. I love how zippy and cool everything is. We've got some clips embedded into the website.
That smell, it's amazing.
Oh, you found it! Thank you so much.
Cooking with Mercedes, I like that. So this is going into the in-game calendar. You'll train your students in class. In addition, your students will take on missions at the end of each month, some more dangerous than others. Of course, we knew all of this, but to be honest, there's been so much information just scattered about this game here and there that it's finally nice to kind of see it all wrapped up in one location, and it makes it better that it's on the official website, of course, too. Here's a screenshot of the gardening screen, finally in English. I think we had this before in Japanese, but it's nice to see. So you can see Western Fodland seeds here, and there's plant, cultivate, and harvest. That's cool. I'm guessing you're going to be using a lot of these ingredients from gardening in the actual cooking and dining areas of the game, so that seems really integrated and nice. I like that. And of course, here's the official name for the new, basically, petting mechanic, the skinship mechanic. We talked about that in my Should You Buy Fire Emblem Three Houses video. This is how you're going to interact and kind of build your bonds deeper with your characters. It is basically a tea party. You're going to be having tea with them, you're going to be talking to them, conversing with them, and you can also kind of change all the camera angles and get a closer look at your favorite character. So I love it. I think it's a great way and a very refined and elegant way to be interacting with your characters on a deeper level. Of course, we got choir practice, faculty training, a bunch of this we did know, and there's also seasonal events that you can answer questions and stuff about your characters. We saw that in the E3 gameplay. So there's so many different facets and aspects of this game, and I think that's what I love the most, because it just seems like no one playthrough is going to be exactly the same, and I cannot wait to play through this thing multiple times, experience so many different paths, and I really hope that the story has a lot of great twists and turns, and I can't wait to find out what that's going to be. Now we've got the battlefield here. We can see this little video clip in the background. There's other footage that we also got released just today that actually shows that this is in fact the prologue mission against the bandits. There will also be Geralt here. You can't really see him in the upper area here, but that's Geralt on a horse. So he is in fact a cavalier. He's like probably a Jagan-esque kind of a character. And this is that first mission, of course. So lead your army into battle. Of course, we have combat forecast, issue commands. You guys know what the deal is with this stuff. Also, we've got a screen here for hiring extra help. So here are the soldiers that you hire as part of the character battalions. This is the new battalion mechanic. Let's take a look here. So you can see all the different kinds of soldiers here and the gambit that each one comes with. So that's how you're going to be able to do different gambits, is by equipping the different battalions. You're going to need gold. You're going to need a certain authority level to unlock them. That seems really cool. And then we get an idea of kind of what their stats are and stuff here too, and the benefits that they provide. And you can see here, this is finally confirmation. We did know before. I don't know if I've actually talked about it in a video, because I don't think the video ever came out, unfortunately. But the triangle carrots, the sort of Triforce looking symbol, is actually the health of your battalion. So you'll have 3 carrots when it's, close to max health. Then it goes down to 2, and then 1, of course. Makes sense. So yeah, that's what that was next to everybody, and anybody that doesn't have those triangle carrots next to them means that they just don't have a battalion equipped.
Do you want to hire this battalion?
We got Felix here, and he leveled up his battalion and got some extra hit. Very cool. And then here's the screen for Gambits. Of course, we've seen these Gambits before already, but it's nice to see them again. I like that one a lot, actually. You can see here, female Violet doesn't say anything in battle, which I find kind of weird. Yeah, anyway. Do major damage with combat arts. Combat arts are special attacks your units can learn, but they cost extra weapon durability. Weapons wear down as you use them, so don't let them break during a fight. We also do know that if your weapons do break during a fight, this is not going to be like other Fire Emblems. If they break, you'll still be able to actually use them. They'll just be in a drastically reduced, weaker state. So you pretty much won't want to use them, but they won't be gone forever. And that's also a good indicator of, with Violet's special Sword of the Creator, that legendary sword that they seem to get pretty early on in the game, that's why it only had like 20 uses or something that we saw before. A lot of people were kind of wondering about that, like why would there only be 20 uses of that weapon, especially if it's like the main weapon that Violet gets. That makes sense, because then it's probably a pretty powerful weapon. 20 uses, it breaks, you got to pay or have the forging materials to be able to kind of fix it. And that's what you're going to be able to do with your weapons, is actually fix them later on with the proper materials. So I think that's going to be really cool. And then there's also a little thing here about Divine Pulse. We do know about that, but we could take a look at this as well.
Yeah! I'm sorry, everyone. It was just too much.
It's almost not quite as sad when people die in this game. I don't know if they did that because they're students, if they're not actually dying story-wise. Maybe they're just doing that thing where it's like, hey, I got to retreat, you know, and they won't be in battles from that point on or something because they got wounded. But the death quotes do seem a little less hyperbolic, I guess, this time than they usually are, which is interesting. And it looks like they also skipped it in one of the recent trailers, because I had some people that were kind of wondering about that, because it seemed like they just kind of disappeared and didn't say anything. It was Casper in the Japanese overview trailer. He didn't say anything, so they must have just skipped it, I guess. But they do actually have quotes, so that's good.
Ready anytime.
Very cool. And then face off against demonic beasts. These foes are so powerful you may have to defeat them multiple times. Use Gambits and combat arts to break through their barriers and take them down for good. This we saw in the King of the Beasts map. This was the map that everybody was playing at E3, where there was a third enemy party, and we did actually see that they do seem to have what's basically like multiple health bars, which is really cool. These things are massive on the map. We also saw like wolf ones and a bunch of other stuff, and it does seem like the white Cerosian dragon from a lot of the Saros mural and all that kind of stuff does seem to be a demonic beast itself. So it's going to be interesting to figure out how all this ties into the game. Let's take a look at this. So we can see right there it broke, and then it also refilled its HP onto the next stage. That seems to be when it dies. That's very cool. I like that. So it's going to add an extra layer of depth and challenge to certain maps to have to deal with these things while also dealing with enemy soldiers. We can also see here, we did know this already, but casual and classic modes are coming back, so you won't have to worry if you're not a fan of permadeath. You can just play casual and have your fallen units rise again after the battle ends. And then here's the Spirits of Fallen. We finally get to see a little tiny screenshot here of what this is going to look like. So if you battle while playing online, you might see glowing spaces on the map where others have lost warriors. Check these spaces for helpful items or boosts. Originally, we thought this was basically you get rewards for standing there because someone else died there, basically. Like, if you could survive on that tile, you would get something. But I guess it's a little bit simpler than that. It's just, if you go here, this is where someone died and you get their stuff. It's kind of interesting, a little bit like MMO-like, I guess, in that sense. But it's going to be cool to see like where people lose units and stuff. I bet you there's going to be some hilarious spots that people lose units and you'll find some goodies. So I like that feature. I think that's pretty cool. Moving on, we also have a tab for DLC. Now, we did know all the DLC stuff as well. I talked about it in that Should You Buy 3 Houses video, but we finally get to see the bullet points listed out in official English here. So Fire Emblem 3 Houses Expansion Pass. Expand your game with DLC. Your journey continues with 4 waves of downloadable content. Pre-purchase the Fire Emblem 3 Houses Expansion Pass to get each wave as it releases. Expansion Pass owners will also receive Officers Academy outfits, female and male, for the protagonist on July 26th. So if you buy the Expansion Pass DLC now, you will start the game and you'll be able to put a costume on, male or female Byleth. I think we did end up seeing, I don't know if this is 100% confirmed, so, you know, take this with a grain of salt, but I think we might have heard some more information about the costume from sort of the Japanese information, and it does seem like you might have to have Byleth as a commoner in order to wear this costume. I really hope that's not the case, because that's going to kind of make it harder later if you want to equip costumes. You're going to have to revert to, like, default classes and stuff and not be able to play optimally. I don't know how I feel about that. I really hope that's not the case. It would make sense because there's going to be a lot of classes that might not necessarily work with the costume. They would have to code it, basically animate it and everything for every single class then that Byleth could be. It does seem kind of intense, and I would kind of understand why they would have to have that restriction, but it's a little unfortunate, I think, because who's going to keep their Byleth as kind of the starting class for the entire game? You know what I mean? So the downloadable content will include, in Wave 1, Officers Academy outfits for male and female Byleth available at launch, additional auxiliary battle maps, helpful in-game support items, and more will be released by October 31st. So it sounds like there's going to be multiple things in this Wave 2 that are going to be coming out in the months following the game. The game comes out on July 26th, so over the course of the rest of the summer and early fall, we're going to be seeing more stuff from Wave 2 here, which seems really cool. Wave 3, additional quests and costumes, plus a free update, will be released by December 31st. So by the end of the year, we're going to see a free game update. I don't really know off the top of my head what this is going to mean, if they're going to add like more little content here and there. What if they have like extra voice lines, extra interactions and dialogue and stuff that they'll just add later? I think that's super cool to think about that. I don't know that they would like necessarily bring VAs back and have them do more lines. I guess that's possible, but I'm kind of wondering what that free update means. Like, are they improving stuff? Are they adding more content to the game? I don't know, but I'm super stoked to kind of find out what that is. So once all the kind of hype and everything dies down for Three Houses by probably fall or early winter, whenever that, however long it kind of lasts, we will be seeing more continued updates and stuff. So it's going to sort of keep the game going a bit longer, and I love the idea of that. That sounds so great. And also Wave 4, new story content with additional playable characters, locations, and more, plus a free update, will be released by April 30, 2020. So that seems like it's going to be the end of it, but what that means is basically we're going to get updates and everything happening with this game up to April 30th, 2020, and it sounds like there might even be like another story path, new branching paths, or something like that going to be added to the game. Of course, new characters, that sounds great, and also another free update. So they will be continuously updating this game until April 30, 2020, at least from everything that they've announced so far. Maybe there could even be more stuff beyond that, but I do kind of remember in the past, like with Echoes and Warriors, they did kind of announce all the DLC beforehand, and once that DLC was over and done, they never really said anything else about it. It kind of just was done there. That was the end of it. So this is probably the end of this as well, but what I love about this is more support than we've probably ever seen for a Fire Emblem game. To get more story content April of next year after playing the game in July right now, that means they're still going to be working on stuff throughout the rest of this year to get it out for us for early next year, and I just love the possibility of that. Oh my god, if they add more story paths, more things that happen, this is going to be great, guys. I'm so excited for this. I can't even contain it anymore. This is amazing. And of course, then we also have a Buy Now tab here. Everything just looks beautiful on this website. I love it. I love the colors of this game so far already. Anyway, this is the website. This is pretty much everything. We could talk about more stuff, I'm sure, but there's so many more things that I need to talk about in this channel. Go check out the website. It's awesome. Play all the voice clips. Let me know who your favorite character's voice is. Who are you excited about? Who are you kind of maybe mixed on? You need to get attached to. I told you mine. Definitely be sure to let me know. Thank you so much for watching and tuning into all this content, and I will see you back very soon for some more Fire Emblem Three Houses stuff. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next time.